Nearly 3 in 10 Americans over 65 are living with diabetes, and almost every one of them was handed the same warning about eggs. Watch the cholesterol in that yolk. That is the wrong thing to be afraid of. The thing at your breakfast table that is quietly pushing your blood sugar up is not the egg at all. It is what you put next to it. And the order you eat it in, that one habit takes about 90 seconds every morning. And done day after day, it drains your energy, it blurs your eyes, it numbs your feet, and it slowly chips away at the thing you care about most. Staying in your own home. So I am not going to tell you whether eggs are good or bad. I am going to show you the exact way to eat that same breakfast so it spikes you far less. I spent years working in an emergency room here in the United States, and here is what surprised me the most. The diabetes emergencies I saw were almost never sudden. They were slow, quiet, built one ordinary breakfast at a time over years until the body finally screamed for help. And the scariest number of all, almost 1 in 5 people with diabetes do not even know they have it yet. Their mornings are already doing damage, and no one has told them. Before I go one step further, hear me clearly. I am not your doctor, and this is not a prescription. This is what the research shows and what I watched happen to real people. Everything here you take to your own doctor first. And I want to hear from you while you watch. Tell me one thing in the comments. What does your breakfast actually look like most mornings? Eggs and toast, a bowl of cereal, oatmeal, a muffin and coffee. Just type it below because in about 2 minutes, you are going to see your own breakfast in a completely different way. So let me introduce you to Marcia. Marcia is 68, a retired mail carrier from just outside Toledo, Ohio. 30 years on her feet in every kind of weather with a gas station coffee and something sweet in her hand most mornings. And I want to be honest with you about her. Marcia is a composite. She is built from dozens of patients I have sat across from who all shared the exact same pattern. When Marcia was first diagnosed, her daughter did what a loving daughter does. She got frightened about eggs. So Marcia gave them up completely. And within a few months, her blood sugar was worse, not better. That is where almost every patient I meet goes wrong. And it is probably where you go wrong too. And it starts with a fear that is 40 years out of date. So let me take that fear apart because it is the first thing standing between you and better numbers. For most of your life, you were told one simple rule: eat too much cholesterol and you clog your heart. Eggs became the villain. 3 yolks a week, they said, no more than that. Now, here is what almost nobody told you. That rule quietly got dropped. Back in 2015, the official dietary guidelines for Americans removed the old limit on dietary cholesterol entirely, gone. And the American Heart Association now says a healthy adult can eat about 1 egg a day inside a good eating pattern. Let that sink in for a second. The very thing you were told to fear for decades, the rule was reversed. And most people never got the memo. So why did it change? Because the cholesterol you eat and the cholesterol in your blood turned out to be only loosely connected for most people. Your liver makes most of your cholesterol itself. When you eat a little more, your body tends to make a little less. Think of it like a thermostat in your house. It adjusts to keep the room steady. One large egg yolk does carry around 186 milligrams of cholesterol. That part is true, but for most people, that is simply not what moves the needle in your bloodstream. Now, I am not going to lie to you and pretend eggs are safe for every single person. Some people are what researchers call responders. Their blood cholesterol really does climb when they eat more of it. And if you have diabetes, your heart is already something you protect fiercely. So this is not a green light to eat 6 eggs swimming in bacon grease every morning. What matters far more than the yolk is the company that yolk keeps. The greasy processed meat piled next to it, and the wave of sugar from everything else on the plate. That is the real fire. Now, some of you are thinking, if this is true, then why did my own doctor warn me off eggs? And that is a fair question. So here is the honest answer. It is not that your doctor is hiding something from you. It is that the guideline changed faster than the message ever reached the exam room. Your doctor gets about 7 minutes with you, 7 minutes to check your feet, your pressure, your medications, your labs. There is no time left over to walk back a rule you have both believed since 1968. So the old fear just survives, passed along year after year, long after the science quietly moved on. That is not a villain in a white coat. That is a system with no room left to breathe, which brings me right back to Marcia. When she gave up her eggs, what did she reach for instead? A bowl of low fat granola, a tall glass of orange juice, a blueberry muffin she genuinely believed was the healthy choice. Her breakfast went from something steady to a wave of sugar. Her morning readings climbed up into the 190s. She felt wiped out by 10 in the morning every single day. She had done everything she was told to do, and it was quietly making her worse. That is not her fault. She was following a map that was drawn 40 years ago. And here's the hopeful part: the fix did not cost her a single dollar. It did not require one new pill. It just required the truth. So if the egg was never really the problem, what is? Here comes the second myth, and it is a big one. Most people believe a healthy breakfast looks like toast or a bowl of cereal or oatmeal or a nice glass of juice, light, clean, sensible. Now, let me show you what actually happens inside your body when that food hits your system. Refined carbs digest almost instantly. There is nothing in them to slow the process down. So the sugar floods your bloodstream all at once. Picture a set of floodgates thrown wide open on an empty riverbed. The water does not trickle in gently, it surges. Your pancreas scrambles to pump out enough insulin to catch up. And after every surge comes the crash. That is the 10 in the morning exhaustion, the shaky, hungry, foggy feeling, the reach for a snack you never planned on eating. And here is the part that surprised even me. The breakfast you eat does not just spike your morning, it sets the tone for your entire day. Researchers even have a name for it. They call it the second meal effect. A breakfast that spikes you hard makes your body handle lunch worse too. But a steady, protein rich breakfast does the opposite. It smooths out not just your morning, but your afternoon as well. One good breakfast, two meals protected. And here is why breakfast matters more than any other meal. For many people with diabetes, the single biggest blood sugar spike of the entire day does not come after dinner. It comes right after that innocent looking breakfast. This is where the food industry has quietly done you dirty. The box says whole grain, it says heart healthy, it says made with real fruit, and your body reads almost every bite of it as pure sugar. When I finally sat down and looked at what Marcia's mornings were doing to her, one thing jumped straight out at me. Her worst numbers of the entire day came before she had even eaten lunch. She used to apologize to me for it. She thought she was doing something wrong. She was doing exactly what the cereal box told her to do. And the moment she truly understood that, everything got easier. Because now the enemy finally had a name, and that name was not Marcia. So what do you do instead? You do not have to throw everything out and start over. You just swap the fast sugar for something with brakes on it. Instead of a bowl of cereal, eggs with vegetables. Instead of a glass of juice, a whole piece of fruit eaten with your meal. Instead of white toast, one slice of dense whole grain bread saved for the end. Instead of a muffin, a scoop of plain yogurt with a few berries dropped in. Small swaps, same kitchen table, a completely different day. So here is the question that changes everything. What if you did not have to give up your toast at all? What if you could eat the very same breakfast, the eggs, the vegetables, even a slice of bread, and cut the spike it gives you almost in half just by changing the order you put it in your mouth? That is not wishful thinking. It is one of the most quietly powerful findings in all of diabetes research, and most people have never once heard of it. Researchers at Weill Cornell in New York ran a beautifully simple experiment. Same meal, same calories, same exact food. The only thing they changed was the order people ate it in. When those people ate their vegetables and their protein first and saved the carbohydrate for last, their blood sugar after that meal dropped by about 29% at the 30-minute mark. And by about 37%, 1 hour in, read those numbers again slowly, 29%, 37%. The same food, just a different order. In people with prediabetes, another study found the sugar peak fell by more than 40%. And in a longer trial, people who were simply coached to eat in this order lowered their A1C, the 3 month average of their blood sugar, by as much as a full point and a half over 2 years. Sit with that for a moment. That is the kind of change people beg their medication to give them. So, why on earth does this work? When protein and fiber hit your stomach first, they slow everything down. They tell your stomach to empty more slowly. They trigger gut signals that blunt the sugar rush before it even starts. So by the time the carbs finally arrive, the floodgates are already half closed. The bread is the exact same bread. Your body just meets it prepared instead of ambushed. And it goes deeper than simply slowing things down. When protein reaches your gut first, it nudges your body to release its own natural hormones, the very same family of hormones that the newest diabetes injections were built to copy. Your body already makes them. You are just deciding with the order on your fork to release more of them at exactly the right moment. So understand this. You are not fighting your biology here. You are working with it for free every single morning. So here is exactly what to do starting tomorrow morning. Eat your eggs and your vegetables first. The spinach, the peppers, the tomatoes, the mushrooms, then your protein, and save the toast, the potato, the fruit for the very end of the meal. If you can put even 10 minutes between the two, better still. And one more piece, because it doubles everything you just did. After you eat, do not sit back down. Get up and walk 10 minutes, 15 if you can, around the block, around the yard. And if the weather is bad or you live somewhere without a sidewalk, you have options. Walk the aisles of the grocery store, do a few loops of the mall. A short walk after a meal pulls sugar out of your blood and into your muscles like almost nothing else can. Let me paint the whole plate for you so it stays dead simple. A couple of eggs, cooked however you like them, a big handful of spinach or peppers wilted right in with them, a little Greek yogurt on the side. And then, if you still want your toast, one slice eaten last, not first. That is the entire thing. Nothing exotic, nothing you cannot pick up at any Kroger or Walmart or Aldi in the country. The whole trick is not what sits on the plate, it is the order it travels from the plate to you. When Marcia first tried this, she thought it was far too simple to matter. She told me it felt silly, eating her eggs before her toast like a child being told the rules. Day 4, she was still skeptical. Then her meter started telling a different story. Her after breakfast number, the one that used to sit up in the 190s, came in at 138. She texted me that morning. She could not believe it was the same food on the same plate. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. So just tell me the one food that fixes this. Give me the magic ingredient. And that instinct, that hunt for the single miracle food, is the third myth. And it is the one that keeps people stuck for years. Your body does not react to one ingredient, it reacts to the whole meal and to the whole pattern, repeated morning after morning. This is exactly why eggs help some people and do nothing at all for others. Eggs are powerful when they replace the sugar on your plate, not when they sit politely beside it. If you add 2 eggs on top of your cereal and juice and muffin, you have not fixed a single thing. You have just made a big breakfast bigger. It is like bolting new brakes onto a car while your foot is still flooring the gas. The eggs only win when they take the spot the spiky food used to hold. And here is a piece almost nobody bothers to tell older adults. After about age 60, your body starts losing muscle faster than it used to. And your muscle is the biggest sugar sponge you own. The more muscle you hold on to, the more blood sugar your body can soak up and burn away. Protein at breakfast helps protect that muscle. And yet, most people cram all their protein into dinner and eat almost none in the morning. That is backwards. Aim for somewhere around 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast. Now, here is the catch: most people miss completely. Two large eggs give you only about 12 grams. That is not enough on its own. So, pair them a little Greek yogurt, a scoop of cottage cheese, a handful of beans. That kind of combination protects your muscle and steadies your sugar at the same time. And as for how you cook them, that matters far less than people fear. Boiled, poached, or scrambled in a little olive oil is gentle on your body. The real problem was never the egg, it was the pile of processed meat and the sugar you kept burying it under. And if all of this feels like a lot to take on at once, then start smaller, pick one change, just eat your eggs before your toast tomorrow morning. That is the whole assignment. You do not need the perfect plate. You need the next honest step. A perfect breakfast that you abandon in a week beats nothing at all. But a plain, boring, repeatable breakfast that you actually keep, that is the thing that quietly changes the direction of your entire year. Now I need to be crystal clear about something because this next part is not optional. If you take insulin, or if you take a pill like glipizide, glyburide, or glimepiride, the ones doctors call sulfonylureas, then listen very closely. These medications were matched to the carbs you have been eating all along. So if you suddenly cut your morning carbs way down, your blood sugar can drop too low. And that is not a small thing. Low blood sugar can leave you shaky, sweating, confused, even dangerous behind the wheel of a car. So please do not make a big change to your breakfast and stay silent about it. Tell your doctor you are changing how you eat. Your dose may need to come down. And honestly, that is a wonderful problem to have, but it is a conversation, not a decision you make alone. And keep something fast nearby: glucose tablets, or a small juice in case you drop low while your body's still adjusting. And one more caution, because it matters for this exact group of people. If you have been told you have kidney disease from your diabetes and your doctor has asked you to hold back on protein, then do not go loading up on eggs and yogurt without asking first. For you, more protein is not automatically better. Bring that one straight to your doctor before you change anything. So, how do you actually know whether any of this is working? You measure, check your fasting sugar a few mornings in a row and write it down. Ask for your A1C at your next visit. Anything under 100 in the morning is a solid fasting number, and under 5.7% on your A1C puts you out of the danger zone. And here is a small gift most people leave sitting on the table. If you are on Medicare, your yearly wellness visit costs you nothing. No copay, nothing. Most people never book it. Book it, bring your numbers, ask your doctor to look at them with you. And if all of this is starting to click for you right now, do me one small favor: tap the like button. That is the thing that pushes this video out to another person. Someone who is quietly spiking every single morning and blaming themselves for it, exactly the way Marsha did. So let me hand you the whole thing in one sentence you can actually carry with you. You do not have to eat less. You have to eat it in a different order and stop fearing the wrong food. That is the entire pattern. Vegetables and protein first, carbs last, a short walk after, eggs in place of the sugar, never piled on top of it. That is it. Everything I told you today folds neatly into that one idea, and none of it costs you a dime. So think back to Marsha one last time. 6 months after she stopped giving up her eggs and started reordering her plate, her mornings looked nothing like they used to. That 10 in the morning wall she used to hit, it faded away. Her A1C came down into a range her own doctor was genuinely glad to see. And the thing she told me she noticed first was not even a number. It was that she stopped needing the afternoon nap. She had always chalked up to just getting older. She started keeping a little notebook right by the coffee pot, writing down her morning number before she did anything else. Some mornings she still slips. She eats her toast first. She forgets the walk, and that is completely fine. She just gets it right again the next morning. But here is the honest part, and I promised you honesty from the start. Marsha's results landed on the better end of what I usually see. Yours may move faster than hers, yours may move slower. And remember, Marsha stands in for a whole lot of people, not one single patient. What I can promise you is that the direction is real. The first week may feel strange and a little annoying. By the second week, you will feel that 10 in the morning crash start to soften. By week 3 or 4, the numbers on your meter begin to move. Most people quit before week 3 ever arrives. The ones who win are simply the ones who did not. And understand what this was really about all along. It was never about eggs, not really. It is about your feet, your eyes, your balance. It is about walking into your own kitchen at 75 without grabbing the counter to steady yourself, keeping up with a grandchild in the backyard until you are the one who calls it a day, staying in your own home on your own terms for as many years as you possibly can. Nobody hands that to you. You build it one steady breakfast at a time, and you get to build a little more of it tomorrow. So before you go, do just two things for me. First, type the words I finished down in the comments so I know you stayed with me all the way to the end. And second, and this one really matters, share this with one person by name: your husband, your sister, the friend from church who just found out their sugar is starting to creep up. Send it to them today, not next week, today. One piece of the right information at the right moment can change the entire shape of someone's next 10 years. Do not keep it to yourself. And one last thing, because I did not get to it today, there is a very common blood pressure pill, one that a huge number of you are taking right now, and it can quietly drain a nutrient your nerves depend on to work. When that nutrient runs low, your feet go numb. And here is the cruel part. And the numbness just gets blamed on your diabetes. Nobody checks the pill. That is the next video. Watch for it. I will see you there.